Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Today taking a look at the Power of the Jedi sneak preview release of the Clone Trooper from Attack of the Clones. So if you're not aware, this was giving you the figure from the upcoming movie, released in the line prior to what was actually for that movie line. The card back itself still looks much like the Power of the Jedi line. Darth Vader and Obi-Wan in the upper left, same Star Wars logo, but this time you're not getting the Power of the Jedi branding with this. As you move down the card, that blister is done in the style that we got for the Saga collection, and a similar look for that cardboard insert with a photo of the Clone Trooper and the text off to the right side. On the back of the card, this is very specific for the sneak preview figures. On the top, you're going to get a brief write-up about Attack of the Clones. Nice image of the Clone Trooper figure that you're getting off on the right side. And then the bottom half of the card is showing you the set of 4 sneak preview figures that were available in this line, or in this wave of figures. Taking a look at the figure out of the packaging, and for a sneak preview figure, you were definitely getting a good look at what we were going to be receiving for the types of figures or how they were done for the Saga collection. And that was going to be a much more action-oriented pose instead of your just rather generic standing upright figures. And there's some hit and misses to having figures that are done in that style. As you can see, he is already in a crouch position. His arms are ready to hold that blaster that he comes with, or the blaster rifle. But when he's not holding it, certainly looks awkward. And with still very little articulation, there's nothing you can do to change that if you want him displayed in any other manner. As far as the sculpting that we did receive, looking at the helmet, things look pretty nice. Certainly looks a lot like the Phase 1 Clone Troopers did. The design of that helmet is carried over quite well to action figure form. Black painting for what little designs there are on the helmet. Looks pretty nice, well placed. Not really bleeding off all over the place. Nice line of gray wrapping from the sides through the back. What they did give us that's kind of hit and miss throughout the figure is a lot of this carbon scoring, and you're getting a good amount on the back side of the helmet, very clean on the front. And that's something you're going to find throughout this figure as we move down to the chest and arms. On the back side of each arm, you're getting some carbon scoring, and then as it comes around the front, all those little black speckles are pretty much gone. Through the chest armor, you've got a little bit going on at the bottom towards the belly, nothing up top, and then on his other arm, very heavy dose there on the side and back, and then on his back armor, very clean through there. Sculpting though certainly looks like it should. Black painting is placed where it needs to be. I'd say that white is kind of bleeding off here and there, so it makes it look a little bit sloppy, a little bit more like a cheap action figure. I mean, I know it's just a toy and whatnot, but Hasbro's certainly done better paint jobs than this, especially in that time frame of this release. Around the waist, nice design for the utility belt. Certainly not a separate sculpt or anything. It is just all part of that one mold for the body, and you're not getting a lot of definition within the belt. You got some decent detailing on the raised parts, but otherwise as it gets to the back edges of the belt closer to the body, it kind of just rolls along. There's not a very hard line separating that sculpt out. And then moving down for the legs of the figure, I like the way things look here. Very solid paint job all around. Good fading going from the white to the Geonosis sand color, and then the carbon scoring that's just sprinkled along, and all of that detailing of the paint covers front, the sides, the back. Certainly you got a little bit where it gets a little heavier here and there and then fades off again. So I like the way the bottom of the figure was done. Looking at the articulation, your head only swivels, both arms swivel at the shoulder, and your legs have a good range of motion coming out and a little bit going back. And for accessories, it does come with a blaster rifle. Great looking sculpt to this. Fair amount of detailing going on in there. You had some brown painting at the back end of the blaster rifle, and then throughout the rest where it's black, you have this, let's say maybe it's a splattering of silver paint. Definitely something in there making it look like it's a little bit used. The rifle seems like a good size in his hands. Obviously, this figure is designed to be holding it in a double-handed pose. As far as the fit in the hand, I gotta say I'm not having the best of luck getting him to hold onto this weapon all that well. Kind of ends up just floating there. Only just now took the rubber band off his hand that was keeping the weapon tied down. It's possible that has something to do with it. It's getting a little bent or something. So it's definitely hard to say on that one. And then with the accessories for the Saga collection, we received these little plastic blaster effects. For lightsabers, you got little bolts that were bouncing off. So in this case, with the blaster, you're going to get a blue bolt that's shooting out. Some sparks at the tip of the blaster, along with that long blue laser bolt. Some of the releases didn't work out so well for me, but in this case, I don't mind the way it looks with this blaster. It kind of fits in nicely. I like the blue color to it. The effect looks pretty nice. And I like that you have the option. You can just peg it on right at the tip of the blaster rifle. And if you don't want it, then just take it off. So overall, for me, you know, it's not the worst Clone Trooper figure we've received. And if you're going to judge it based on articulation, the set of 3 figures that we got for deluxe figures in that realistic line, I think it was, you know, those had no articulation. So to me, this one is not the worst in the world. Certainly we've received better since this figure was released, but I think for what it was, certainly a sneak peek at the figures to come at that time, I think this works. Not to mention, I think this would make a great addition for a diorama piece where you just need to throw a bunch kind of in the background of your shelf, maybe, not so much in the forefront. But since he's already sculpted in that action-oriented pose and you could get a bunch of them, they all pretty much look the same, I think there's certainly a place for this figure in a collection. So that wraps this one up. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this figure in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.